Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a very hot minute and I'd like to say I'm sorry, but a lot was happening and I needed to figure out a place to film. But I mean, I found this place, so I guess I'm going to start filming back to back again like I used to. I thought I was going to wait till next year, take that break off and just like come back like next year. But I just figured out that I needed to start filming. I kept like thinking about filming, like I need to go back. I slept off watching one of my videos one of those days and I was just like, yeah, girl, you need to come back. There's something I want to talk about and it's called trauma, right, you guys? Trauma. There's a lot going on in the media everywhere about that's talking about trauma, and there's a lot going on that is attached to trauma, right? Like daily events, daily things that have happened can be traced back to trauma, and things that people experience, which in hindsight is trauma. And to be factual, right, I've like had like so many close calls with people that have like very traumatic that have gone through some kind of trauma that they have not dealt with, that they're like projecting on other people, right? And I just felt like it's important to talk about it because a lot of people are talking about it, right? But the thing is, people are not listening. Like, I don't understand why, but honestly, the fact that people are not listening, or people are not like taking the precautionary measures to actually make sure that like they deal with trauma in their life is crazy. Because for instance, everybody is talking about how their parents did this, they were physically abused, how this was happening, how like African parents were cane, the way they handled some things, and people are like, oh, I don't want to be like my parents, and everybody's trying so hard not to be like their parents, but they're also like inviting some kind of, they're like trying so hard not to be like their parents, but they're not even really making much of a point or much of a difference in their lives. They are just trying to avoid some things. My major point is that people are really not dealing with trauma the way they should deal with it, right? People are talking around it, right? For instance, let's talk about Twitter, X. There is so much going on Twitter. People talking about how girls broke their hearts, people talking about how guys broke their hearts, how this happened, how that happened. We're talking around it. We're creating tweets that make people realize that they've been through trauma, make that people are like, they're realizing, oh, this is what happened, someone, I got traumatized by this. The same thing happened to me. They're trauma bonding, they're trauma dumping, but we're not like tackling the issue. And the issue is that if you've been traumatized by something, you need to deal with the issue, right? Because if you have the mother that was critical, like very highly critical of you, you need to understand that that thing should have had an effect on you, and somehow it would affect the partners you choose. It would affect the way you speak to people if you don't deal with it. There's no magic. Do you understand? So you're just talking about it. This is what happened. You're just complaining. You're just yapping. And the truth is that you can be in a career where you're like really you're doing well for yourself. You're like knocking out things, things are happening for you, things are going for you, but emotionally you're not there at all because you're like harboring this trauma that you don't want to let go of, right? You treat people a certain way because there's some kind of trauma that you're holding on to that you don't want to let go, right? So the reason why I'm creating this video is because I really want people to understand that it's not just okay talking about the trauma. You need to like do something about it. If you want to do self-therapy, you can go through you can research things. Like there are like forum boards like Quora, there's Reddit. There are people that have gone through what you've been through and they're trying to deal with it. People are hurting people, right, because of this trauma that they're holding on to so dearly, that they don't want to address, they just want to work around. They're like hurting people. They're hurting people that also like have gone through pain, but maybe they've like they're healing, or they've healed, or they're still healing, or they're trying to even become better people. They're now like trying to trauma dump on other people. Like, if you've been hurt, it's okay. Like, we understand everybody has been hurt at some point. If you feel your pain is more than other people's pain, great. Like, we understand. But you need to find a way to walk through it. Like, honestly, I feel like even people that are like married, even people that are like in very serious relationships, you would see that they're still projecting some kind of trauma on like their partners, on like other people around them, and it's crazy, right? Like, honestly, after this video, I need you to sit down and think to yourself and like realize there are some things that you've been doing, there's some patterns that you've been like following, there's some things that you've been doing that you need to like revisit and be like, why am I doing this thing? Like, this thing is toxic. It's maybe from this that. You need to trace it back. Like, we need to be intentional about bereading this trauma, right? It's not just okay to say, this is what my parents inflicted on me, and this is what I'm dodging. Because while you're dodging what was inflicted on you, you are inviting some other things. I'll explain, right? Let's say, for instance, you had a physically abusive auntie that lived with you, right? You're trying not to be physically abusive. You're ignoring the emotional part of yourself, where you're meant to build your emotional side and become, more self-aware and all of that, right? And then you become somebody that is not a physical abuser, but you're an emotional abuser. And that's why I said that being intentional about like being about like trauma that you've been through is very important, because it helps you to also look at different parts of your life, and it helps you to want to build towards emotional intelligence, right? Because emotional intelligence is the ultimate goal for like people that are like healthy and stable and all of that, because by that you know how to build boundaries, you know how to be self-aware, you know how to like read social cues, you know all of those things, and you're trying to become a better version of yourself every day. You're not holding on to the past that, oh, this person vexed me, this person broke my heart, so that I'm going to break everybody's heart. Like, when you go through a hard time, when you go through a painful time, yes, you're going to get hurt. You're going to allow yourself to to feel all the things you've gone through, or whatever emotions that has been placed upon you based on the trauma or the pain of the relationship, or the pain of whatever it is. Maybe you lost your job because somebody lied against you or something. Like, you deal with it, because that's what adults do. You deal with it, but you drop it, right? Like, even if you don't forget, you have to, as in, move on at some point. You don't go, my next job, I'm going to deal with them. Like, what kind of life is that? Like, I mean, that's really what like I'm talking about, because on social media, on like, everybody is just trying to trauma dump, trauma bond. Like, it's not pretty to like be, I mean, it's okay to associate like what you've been through, and feel like you're not alone, but by all means do the work to become a better person, right? So this is what I wanted to talk about today, and it could not wait. I was just like, girl, you need to start recording right now. So yeah, so for now, I don't know like what my schedule will be like, but I'm going to try to post every week. But if I cannot, I'll post every 2 weeks. What I'll try to do is I'll try to communicate on my I've never used that thing before, the YouTube thing that you write stuff. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm going to try to do that. So without further ado, I have something that's coming up very soon, and you'll see. I mean, you hear about it when it comes through, but in the meantime, you guys should be good. And honestly, if you're going to trauma bond or you're going to trauma dump, you need to do the work and work on whatever trauma it is, and become like a better person, and build and blah 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 blah. You guys, it's very important. As in, my mouth is already dry, so I need to drink water. But you guys, you understand what I'm saying? Anyway, you guys, till next time, bye. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching my video. I'm really appreciative if you hopped on here once you got the notification, or once you saw the link, or once you saw it. Thank you so much. I'm going to try to be more consistent now that I've come through. Thank you so much. I've said thank you like 5 times. Like, share, subscribe, or not. I don't know, like, if this really resonated with you, please, as in, just feel free to comment, do whatever it is, you know. Okay, I'm more animated this year. Okay, you guys, bye.